Time's not up just yet, Pegasus, and you've left your faceless mage vulnerable to a physical assault. Summon Skull! Attack!
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Toon Duelists. My name is Prototype and today I got another deck profile for you guys. Today we're looking at a Summoned Skull deck featuring the Darkhold Dragon. It's a fun deck, nothing competitive at all. You cannot take this to locals, don't even try it. No, it's really to play with friends, or if you collect decks, then this is also a nice addition to your collection. And the only engine that would have pushed this deck and would have made sense or would have had synergies with the Summoned Skull would have been Fiendsmith. But let's be honest guys, if you have a Fiendsmith engine, you're gonna put it in a competitive deck and not into a fun deck. So that's why we were looking for something else. And I gotta say, the Summoned Skull and the Darkhold Dragon don't have many synergies. The only synergy basically is that both monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's usually tough for your opponent to get rid of them. And then, of course, if you have multiple that cannot be destroyed by card effects, he needs to find multiple ways of banishing them, which some decks struggle for sure, and that's the whole winning strategy in here. But I would say let's just dive into the deck profile. Alright guys, we're starting off with the Summoned Skull engine. We're playing 2 copies of the Summoned Skull right here. This is mostly used as ritual material, because what we actually want to summon out in this deck, and which is the boss monster of the Summoned Skull engine, is the ARCHFIEND's Awakening, and because this card cannot be destroyed by monster effects besides ritual monsters, and cannot be destroyed by battle besides with a ritual monster. So it has pretty good protection, and that's why we want to summon this card out as often and as many times as possible, just to give our opponent a hard time of getting rid of it. And then we also have 3 copies of the ARCHFIEND Commander. This one has a nice synergy with the Awakening again, because this one can be special summoned when you control ARCHFIEND monster or Fiend monster, I think it is in general. No, it's an ARCHFIEND card, never mind. But then you have to destroy a monster on the field, and then you can just target this card here to destroy it. But since this is not a ritual monster, the effect won't destroy it, and then you have both monsters on the field, and then you can go into rank 6 right here. To support this engine, we are playing 3 copies of Manchu, which can search a ritual spell or a ritual monster when it's normal summoned. And then 2 copies of the Zombie right here. This card is a tuner, and so with our level 6 monsters and this one we can go into Synchro 8, and with the Black Hole Dragon right here that we will talk about in a second, and this card we can go into Synchro 10. Alright, then the spells in this engine, we are playing 2 copies of Advanced Ritual. Advanced Ritual lets us ritual summon by using a normal monster from our deck as material, and this is gonna be the Summoned Skull obviously, and then we can summon out our ritual monster that we just saw. And then we're playing 3 copies of Prep, and Prep lets us add a level 7 or lower ritual monster, which the ARCHFIEND's Awakening is. And then we're also playing 3 copies of Allure of Darkness right here to get us draw power, to get more consistency into this deck. We're only playing dark monsters, so you can usually always resolve this without having to discard your hand, and yeah, makes the deck more consistent. Alright, next up the Darkhold Dragon engine. 3 copies of Darkhold Dragon, obviously. This card can be special summoned when you non-target destroy an opponent's monster, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and in the end phase you can add yourself a Darkhold to your hand. So yeah, pretty good, because you can search a board breaker and you can resummon this card every time you resolve one of your board breakers. To support this engine, we're playing 2 copies of Melody. Melody lets us discard a card and then add 2 dragons with 3000 ATK and or more, and 2500 death or less to our hand. So the Darkhold Dragon matches that, and so we can search with this card Darkhold Dragon. And then we're also playing one copy of Bestial Magnamut. Since this is a level 6 again, we can go into into rank 6 Xyz summons again with our Summon Skull engine. And on top of that, in the end phase, you can search a Darkhold Dragon into your hand. And it's easy, a special summon too. So yeah, if this card wasn't limited to 1, then we would play for sure 3 copies in this deck here. Alright, and then for the non-engine in this deck, we're playing all the spells that help us summon out the Darkhold Dragon and obviously our board breakers. So we're playing 3 copies of Darkhold, 3 copies of Raigeki, and then 3 copies of Lightning Storm. And then we're also playing 3 copies of this OG Lightning here, right there, which is also not bad in this deck because you discard a card and then destroy all your opponent's monsters that are open on the field. And the Darkhold Dragon also triggers when it's in the graveyard, so you can just discard the Darkhold Dragon and then use this, and you won't even like go -1 by discarding something. And then the last non-engine is Called by the Grave, just to block hand traps, and in general, you know, Called by the Grave is such a strong card, it cannot be missing in any deck. But yeah, we have 12 board breakers right here that would trigger our Darkhold Dragon. And it works pretty well in my opinion. You usually resolve those cards multiple turns in a row and always get your Darkhold Dragon back, and eventually your opponent struggles a lot with that, and that's when you're gonna secure the win. Alright, in the extra deck we're gonna start off with the Synchro Monsters. Our first Synchro Monster is ARCHFIEND's Call. And guys, oh my gosh, look at the design of this card. Amazing, this card looks so beautiful. Design-wise, one of my favorite cards in the entire TCG. This card is crazy right here. But anyway, you can make this with our zombie that I showed you guys earlier and the Manchu. Those two are Synchro 6 together, and then you can go into the ARCHFIEND's Call, and obviously in a Summoned Skull deck you gotta play the ARCHFIEND monster. Then next up we have Beals. Beals is Synchro 8. So zombie and any ARCHFIEND monster basically together, you go into this. And this one has also synergies with the deck because it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So this card is also protected when you use Darkhold, for example. And this is the whole goal of the deck, right? To have cards that your opponent has a hard time to get rid of. This is another one right here. Alright, another Synchro 8 we're playing is Draco Berserker. This card is really strong because when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish the monster that activated the effect. So yeah, very strong Synchro 8, and of course part of this deck. And for our last Synchro 8 we're playing the Psyframe Omega right here. This card doesn't come up as often, but we have the space to play it. If you have another idea what extra deck monster would be good in this deck here instead, then let me know down in the comments. Maybe we find something better than Psyframe Omega, but for now it's not bad. The effect can be useful. And then for our last Synchro monster, we're playing a Synchro 12, Synchro 10, sorry. And this one can be made with the Darkhold Dragon and our zombie again, obviously. And it has a monster negate. So yeah, also strong extra deck monster right here. Next up, our Xyz monsters. One Superstar Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis, a very generic and really good Xyz monster that helps in a fun deck like this a lot for sure. And then we're getting to our rank 6 Xyz monsters that we summon out of the Summoned Skull engine. And of course the very first one has to be ARCHFIEND's Summoned Skull version, basically ARCHFIEND's Ascent. Also amazing design. The Synchro monster is even more beautiful, but yeah, YuGiOh, Konami really outdid themselves with the designs of the ARCHFIEND monsters right here. And yeah, what else you want to say about this? Very beautiful. And then we have 4 strong XC6. One of them, of course, has to be Caesar. You guys saw that in competitive play. Can negate 2 summons, is super strong, has to be 2 fiend monsters of level 6, which we have in our deck and which we can summon out easily too. So yeah, has to be in the deck. And then we have the number 39, Overtopia, rank 6. Then we also have YuGiOh right here. And then we have the Photon rank 6 monster. And yeah, those are basically the rank 6 monsters with the strongest effect. Each of them have their own use, have their own reason why they're in there, and depending on the match or in what situation you are, one of them is more useful than the other one. Then you pick what's the most useful to you, but it is basically a toolbox and you choose your tool. Okay, last but not least, our link monsters. 1 copy of Lina, 1 copy of Dark. They both work the same way. You target monster in your opponent's graveyard, has the same attribute as one of these cards here, and summon it to your side of the field. Then you already have a link tree basically, so you only would need 1 more monster on your side to summon out IP. And then with IP and Dark or Lina, you summon out the Aframax. And then because Aframax was summoned with IP Mascarena's effect, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. And now this is also a really, really tough monster for your opponent to get rid of, because destroying it by battle is basically impossible. Cannot be targeted by card effects, and with IP's effect cannot be destroyed by card effects. So now this is another really strong win conditions that plays into the strategy of this deck right here. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, as always. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the deck profile, about these 2 amazing nostalgic cards. Both have amazing design in my opinion, and I'm very happy that I was able to put them into one deck. And then I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.